begin with prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Reading from Sri Ishopanishad by His Divine Grace Vishwaguru Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Mantra 7. Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani Atmaivabhut Vijanataha Tatra Ko Moha Kashlo Shoka Ekatvam Manupashyataha. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation: one who always sees all living entities as spiritual sparks, in quality one with the Supreme Lord, becomes a true knower of things. What then can be illusion or anxiety for him? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. We are continuing to read from the part where we left last time. The spiritual entities are meant for enjoyment, as stated in the Vedanta Sutra, Anandamayo Abhyasa. By nature and constitution, every living being, including the Supreme Lord and each of his parts and parcels, is meant for eternal enjoyment. The living beings who are engaged in the material tabernacle are constantly seeking enjoyment, but they are seeking it on the wrong platform, where the Supreme, apart from the material platform, is the spiritual platform, where the Supreme Being enjoys himself with his innumerable associates. And therefore, that platform is called Nirguna. On the Nirguna platform, there is never a clash over the object of enjoyment. Here in the material world, there is always a clash between different living beings because here the proper center of enjoyment is missed. The real center of enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, who is the center of the sublime and spiritual rasa dance. We are all meant to join him and enjoy life with one transcendental interest and without any clash. That is the highest platform of spiritual interest. And as soon as one realizes this perfect form of oneness, there can be no question of illusion or moha or lamentation or shoka. A godless civilization arises from illusion, and the result of such a civilization is lamentation. A godless civilization, such as that sponsored by the modern politicians, is always full of anxieties because it may be crushed at any moment. That is the law of nature. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 14, no one but those who surrender at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord can surpass the stringent laws of nature. Thus, if we wish to get rid of all sorts of illusion and anxiety and create unity out of all diverse interests, we must bring God into all our lives, all our activities. The results of our activities must be used to serve the interest of the Lord and not for any other purpose. One, only by serving the Lord's interest can we perceive the Atma Bhuta interest mentioned herein. The Atma Bhuta interest mentioned in this mantra and the Brahma Bhuta interest mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 54, are one and the same. The Supreme Atma or Soul is the Lord Himself, and the minute Atma is the living entity. The Supreme Atma or Paramatma alone maintains all the individual minute beings, for the Supreme Lord wants to derive pleasure out of their affection. The Father extends himself through his children and maintains them in order to derive pleasure. If the children obey the Father's will, family active affairs will run smoothly with one interest and a pleasing atmosphere. The same situation is transcendentally arranged in the absolute family of the Parabrahman, the Supreme Spirit. The Parabrahman is as much a person as the individual entities. Neither the Lord nor the living entities are impersonal. Such transcendental personalities are full of transcendental bliss, knowledge, and life eternal. That is the real position of spiritual existence. And as soon as one is fully cognizant of this transcendental position, he at once surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Being, Sri Krishna. But such a Mahatma or great soul is very rarely seen because such transcendental realization is achieved only after many, many births. Once it is attained, however, there is no longer any illusion or lamentation or the miseries of material existence or birth and death, which are all experienced in our present life. That is the information we get from this mantra of Sri Ishopanishad. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. We have been discussing mantra 7 of Ishopanishad from the past 2 weeks, the past two sessions. Today is the third session. We are discussing the conclusion of this mantra. The mantra reads Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani Atmaiva Bhut Vijanataha Tatra Ko Moha Kah Shoka Ekatvam Anupashyataha. We had discussed in detail about Ekatvam Anupashyataha in the previous session. Ekatvam means to see oneness, oneness of the Lord with the living entity. We are one with the Lord in purpose. We are supposed to be one, and in quality, we are one with the Lord. One who is constantly seeing this oneness, such a person, for him, there is no moha, illusion, and there is no shoka, lamentation. So, how to see this oneness? So, for that, we need to get trained by a bona fide spiritual master. That is the import of the word anupashyataha. Anupashyataha has got two meanings. One is to constantly perceive that I am one with the Lord in quality and purpose. Another meaning is to perceive our oneness with the Lord through the authoritative knowledge coming down in the parampara system. Anu means to follow in the footsteps of great personalities, the Mahatmas or the Mahajanas. With the help of knowledge that they have given, when we perceive that we are one with the Lord, that is called Anupashyataha. Ekatvam Anupashyataha. And we also discussed in the previous session, oneness does not mean losing our identity and merging into the Lord. Arjuna arrived at the same conclusion as the Lord at the end of Bhagavad Gita, but he remained an individual personality, maintained his individuality, and served the Lord's purpose. Now, this is called oneness. So, oneness means achieving oneness in purpose, not ending one's individuality, as the Mayavadis think. Now, here, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that in the part of the purport that we read just now, Prabhupada is quoting Vedanta Sutra. In the very beginning, Vedanta Sutra says, Anandamayo Abhyasa. Both the Supreme Lord and his living entities are by nature Anandamaya entities. Anandamaya means we have a tendency to enjoy. That is our constitutional position. We are meant for enjoyment. So the Supreme Lord he has expanded himself into so many living entities, all of us, for his enjoyment. Prabhupada gives the example, just like a father He begets children and he maintains them, takes care of them, because he wants to exchange loving dealings with his children. So the father has become many, his own children, and he exchanges uh, love and affection with his children, and that enhances his pleasure. In the same way, we are all children of God. We are all meant to serve Krishna. Krishna has created all of us for his pleasure, and in the process of serving Krishna, we also get our real pleasure. Therefore, we and the Lord both are Anandamaya. We are supposed to seek the pleasure by giving pleasure to Krishna, by serving Krishna. Then we can realize our real Anandamaya position. But right now, because we have forgotten that the real center of enjoyment is Krishna, we are trying to enjoy independent of Him. The result of this is illusion and lamentation. That is why, even though we are seeking happiness, no one in this world is happy. So, the Lord comes once, many, many times to this material world to demonstrate this fact. Why don't you serve me? And you will get real ananda, which you are actually looking for, which you are entitled to enjoy. This is what Krishna is practically speaking in the Bhagavad Gita. When Krishna is saying that you become my devotee, think of me, worship me, surrender to me, what is he meaning to say? He's saying that come back to your original position. Originally, you were enjoying in my association and you were enjoying real bliss. Right now, you have drifted away. Now you come back. Once you come back to your original position and engage in my service, you will achieve real happiness, which you are actually meant for achieving or enjoying. So, this is what this Ishopanishad, this mantra is saying, seventh mantra, that we have to reorient our activities for serving the Lord. Ishopanishad is not saying you should stop your activities. Instead, it is saying reorient, redesign your activities and engage those activities in the service of the Lord. That will make you attain real happiness. You will become free from all kinds of illusion and lamentation if you do that. Srila Prabhupada gives a very nice analogy elsewhere. Just like if there is a pond, a water body, and if you throw one stone, that stone creates ripples in the water, isn't it? You must have observed this. Now, if I throw one more stone at another point in the water, that also creates another ripple, another set of waves. Now, the first set of waves and the second set of waves, they clash against each other, isn't it? Now, if you throw a third stone, there's another set of waves generated, and those waves clash the first two set of waves. Now, that is exactly what is happening in the material world. In the material world, everybody thinks that I am the center of enjoyment. So, what is happening? There are different centers of enjoyment. So, there is a conflict between one center of enjoyment and another center of enjoyment. That is why we see there is wars, there is you know there is differences of opinion. There is always some kind of quarrel on an individual level, on a national level, on a community level. There is clash of interest between two communities or two countries or two individuals, two groups of people. Why? Because each one of them think that they are the center of enjoyment. Instead, Srila Prabhupada says, if you keep only one center point in the pond, and if you throw stones only at that point, no matter you throw n number of stones at the same point, even though n number of waves are generated, there is no clash. There is no clash, isn't it? In the same way, if everyone makes Krishna as the center of his or her life, on an individual level, on a community level, on a national level, international level, in every level, if there is only one common center of enjoyment, only one purpose to serve Krishna, then there will be real peace and harmony in the society, isn't it? So, uh, Srila Prabhupada says that after the Second World War, they established the United Nations. UNO was established to maintain peace and security in the country, in the world, to stop future wars. But has the UN really succeeded, if you ask the question? Even after establishment of UNO, there have been so many wars which are being fought. Even today, there are wars being fought in different parts of the world. So, so many countries are becoming members of UNO. That means the number of flags are increasing in front of UN office, but there is no real peace and happiness that the UN is able to establish in this world. That's because they have failed to establish the common center of purpose or enjoyment in this world. Srila Prabhupada says, what UNO failed to attain, that our Hare Krishna movement is able to do. Srila Prabhupada says, whatever UNO could not achieve, that can be achieved if everybody follows the principles of the ISKCON society, the Hare Krishna movement. So, in the Hare Krishna movement, it is very clear that Krishna is the master, everybody are his servants. We have to simply cooperate with the plans and instructions of Krishna. We have to do activities for his pleasure. So, if everybody cooperates among each other to serve the common master, Krishna, then everybody can realize universal brotherhood. Everybody can attain the peace and happiness which they are all hankering after. So that means Prabhupada said this is the spiritual United Nations. The Hare Krishna movement is the spiritual United Nations. So only when there is a common center of enjoyment, there will be no clash of interest, there will be no wars, there will be no quarrels. So that common center of interest is Krishna. Ekatvam anupashyataha. That is what this mantra of Ishopanishad is saying. Everybody should be trained to understand that Krishna is the source of everyone. Krishna is our father. We are all meant to serve Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. If everybody leads his or her life in this manner, there will be no room for misunderstanding, quarrel, or anything of that sort. There will be real happiness. So, in fact, Sripada Shankaracharya, he also said the same thing. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam. Eko Devaha Devaki Putraha. So he said, let there be only one God, the son of Mother Devaki. Let there be only one scripture, the words spoken by Krishna, that is Bhagavad Gita. Let there be only one mantra, the holy name of Krishna. Let there be only one activity for the entire humanity, serving Krishna. So in this way, Sripada Shankaracharya has given us this sutra. If you want to really be happy and peaceful, you adopt this. Make Krishna as the center of your activities. So, Prabhupada says, we are all under the stringent laws of material nature because we are not willingly cooperating to serve Krishna. Those who are not willingly following the laws of the constitution, they are put into the prison house and they are subjected to so many restrictions, isn't it? In the same way, those who are not willingly surrendering to Krishna out of love and devotion, such people are put under the stringent laws of material nature, Maya. And this Maya is very difficult to overcome. As Krishna says in the seventh chapter, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. Duratyaya means very difficult to overcome. Maya is very, very powerful. It's not easy to overcome her influence. But Krishna says, Mamevaye prapadyante mayametam tarantite. If you just surrender to me voluntarily, if you just come and surrender to me, then I will give you release from this Maya. I will give you real freedom, liberation from all these unnecessary troubles that you are going through because of the influence of Maya. This is Krishna's proposal. Krishna is so merciful for our sake, who all of us have forgotten him, all of us are planning to enjoy independent of him, but because he is a loving father, he personally comes to this material world. He's not able to see that, he's not able to tolerate that we are all suffering in this material world. So he personally comes and speaks the Bhagavad Gita so that we all learn our lessons, we all heed to Krishna's words and make our lives, plan our lives in such a way that we can go back to Krishna and enjoy real Ananda in his presence in the spiritual world. So, Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita not simply to declare that he is the supreme personality, not to, simply to declare that he is the most powerful. No, he is actually speaking Bhagavad Gita out of compassion towards all of us. He doesn't want us to suffer in this material world. So if we want to end our suffering, we have to give up our independent tendency to enjoy. We have to simply surrender to Krishna, understanding that he is my real well-wisher. If I simply serve him, I will attain real happiness. Example is given in the Bhagavatam. If you pour water to the root of the tree, automatically every part of the tree gets nourished with water. You don't have to pour water on individual leaves or branches or twigs. Simply supply water to the roots. In the same way, Krishna is the root cause of everything. He is Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the original cause of everything. He is the ultimate reality. We have to simply dovetail our activities towards His pleasure, towards His service. Then everybody will become happy. Family level, individual level, community level, national level, international level. Everybody can become happy if simply we serve Krishna, pour water to the root of the tree. Another example Bhagavatam gives is if you simply supply food to the stomach, all the parts of your body will get energy. You don't have to supply food to individual parts of the body. Simply supply food to the stomach. In the same way, simply serving Krishna will satisfy everybody. All the entities, all jivas are parts and parcels of Krishna. Simply by serving Krishna, our duty towards all living entities will be completely uh, performed, right? So we don't have to have a doubt. If I simply serve Krishna, is it okay? What about other devatas? What about other runas that I have, debts that I have towards my family, my society, my country, all of these things? No. Krishna is the ultimate cause. By serving Krishna, everybody will be satisfied. In fact, Bhagavatam says that simply by serving Krishna, na kinkaro nayam runi cha rajan. By serving Krishna, one is freed from all kinds of obligations and debts towards all living entities and all other demigods and everybody else. So this is the Krishna consciousness movement, which is so scientific, which is which is not simply sentimental, which is which is based on facts. So we have to accept this process of Krishna consciousness wholeheartedly, and then we can attain real peace and happiness. Towards the end, Srila Prabhupada says, only by serving the Lord's interest can we perceive the Atma Bhuta interest mentioned herein. Atma Bhuta interest means what? One's real interest, one's self interest. What is one's self interest? Prahlad Maharaj also says this in the seventh canto of Bhagavatam. Nate viduhu swartha gatim hi Vishnum. Our real swartha, our real self interest is to serve Vishnu, Krishna. So, if we want to fulfill our real self interest, Prahlad Maharaj is advising you simply serve Krishna because Krishna is your real self interest. His satisfaction is the goal of life, isn't it? So by serving the Lord's interest, what is the Lord's interest? Lord has got nothing to achieve. Then what is the meaning of Lord's interest? Lord's interest means his mission. What is his mission? His mission is to reclaim the fallen conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. That is his interest. That is his mission. So we have to serve Krishna's mission. Krishna wants to take everybody back home, back to Godhead. We have to serve that mission. So Srila Prabhupada is serving that mission of the Lord, right? So we have to serve Srila Prabhupada's mission. Then it is same as serving Krishna's mission or Krishna's interest. By serving Krishna's interest, then our real Atma Bhuta interest can be perceived. And Prabhupada says the Atma Bhuta interest mentioned here and the Brahma Bhuta interest mentioned by Krishna in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita are one and the same. What is that Brahma Bhuta interest? Coming to the spiritual platform, realizing our real position as part and parcel of Krishna, rendering service to Krishna. When we do that, na shochati na kankshati. No more lamentation, no more anxiety, no more hankerings. So, this is the point that Srila Prabhupada is making in this purport. So, Parabrahman is a person. All of us are his parts and parcels. We are also persons. And uh, the Lord, neither the Lord nor us are impersonal. So all such transcendental personalities are full of transcendental bliss, knowledge, and life eternal. That is the real position of spiritual existence. And as soon as one is fully cognizant of this transcendental position, he at once surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Being, Sri Krishna. So, why we are studying Srila Prabhupada's books? To become cognizant of transcendental knowledge, to become cognizant of our transcendental position and the transcendental position of Krishna. Why we have to chant Hare Krishna? Why we have to render service to the Lord and his devotees? It is for the same reason, to become aware of our own constitutional position and the Lord's position. When we become fully aware like this through service, then we completely surrender to the Lord. And such a fully surrendered soul is very rare, as Krishna himself says, Samahatma Sudurlabaha. Why? Because it takes many, many lifetimes for one to actually come to this position of completely surrendering to the Lord with full understanding and realization. Right? So, but when one comes in touch with a pure devotee spiritual master, by his mercy and blessings, one can attain this perfection even in this one lifetime. So even though it is a rare phenomena, it happens through many, many lifetimes that one actually gradually realizes Vasudevam Sarvamiti. But if one comes in touch with a pure devotee spiritual master and agrees to voluntarily follow his instructions, then he can attain perfection in this one lifetime. It is possible. So Srila Prabhupada says, Srila Prabhupada has promised that if you simply follow my instructions, chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra every day, follow the four regulative principles, then at the end of this very lifetime, I will take you back to Godhead. So this is a pure devotee's promise. All that we have to do is sincerely, seriously execute the orders and instructions of our beloved spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. So with this, we come to the end of today's session. We shall start discussing on the next mantra, that is mantra 8, in the next session. Shri Ishopanishad ki jai, Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please stay online for a while. We will soon be starting the recitation of the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.